Here with Northwestern head coach Pat Fitzgerald. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks.
I commented before we started taping that you sent a funny tweet and breaking. We will not be naming a starting quarterback today. Funny how that never happens in media days.
Very rarely does it, and nor am I going to now, but thanks for asking.
Well, see, that's the thing, though. Like, I look at your quarterbacks, and I see two guys that know how to play football.
Yep.
And I think in watching Peyton Ramsey, what he was able to do last year,
Right.
you get a lot of guys that aren't always paying attention. I get from you that those guys are, and you feel good about both of them.
I do, I really do, and I think we have a third with Andrew. So, I feel like we've got really good competitive depth there. Someone's got to take the job over to start the year, but I feel good about the room.
I need to ask you about your new athletic director, who was my athletic director at the University of Tulsa, Dr. Gregg. Have you got a chance to get to know him?
We've gotten to know each other a little bit. Doc's going to get up on campus, really starting full-time on Sunday. Look forward to building that relationship. We've had some great talks. I think we're very much aligned with where we want to go and what we want to do, and I'm really excited to work with him.
One of the things I mentioned to your kids who come in here just a little bit earlier was you don't get lauded for the development that goes on at Northwestern as much as you should, especially when taking out Rashawn and Greg.
Right.
What are you guys doing to prepare these players for not just the NFL, but getting drafted in the first round?
Well, I think the credit goes, first of all, to the young men. I mean, they put the effort in, and that's the key ingredient. Of course, I'm proud of our strength staff and nutrition and athletic training and our coaching staff, the job that they did putting together a blueprint to develop both young men. But at the end of the day, it's the effort that they put in. They both were pretty fortunate to stay relatively healthy, put great tape out there so that they could be evaluated. And then the best part, when they started to go through the NFL evaluation, they didn't have to become someone new. They just had to be themselves. And so they're from great families, incredibly humble young men that love the game, that play it the right way, that are going to make the Chargers and the Browns incredibly happy to draft him in the first round.
How much are you depending on Brandon Joseph to buoy your secondary this year?
Well, Brandon's got a lot of experience now, and you wouldn't have said that a year ago, but to see what he's been able to accomplish in a short amount of time is nothing less than spectacular. Great ball skills. I think really understanding the nuances now of playing defense as he gets more experience. But wow, is he a talented guy when that ball's up in the air.
In as much as a cornerback can, has he been helpful to Coach O'Neill in getting acclimated?
He has. I mean, Jim's been in our program before as a graduate assistant, a wealth of experience at the NFL and collegiate level. And what I loved about when we brought Jim in was the fact that he wanted to make this our defense, not just his. And, that collaboration with Marty Long and Tim McGargle and Matt McPherson has been something that, in my opinion, is going to be hopefully our hallmark of our defense this year.
I need to ask you, and I'm trying to be as pointed as I can with this question, so forgive me. How have you been able to do this at a place like Northwestern for so long? Because we don't see longevity like you have there at this position. Like, we just don't see it.
Right. Well, consistency of support. We've had great support from our leadership, our trustees, our president, our athletic directors, and we've had great players. We've had players that have had all Big Ten careers across every one of my seasons that I've had the privilege of coaching. And then a consistency in our staff. I've had very little turnover. We've had a little bit more as of late with some retirements and things of that nature. But I think the consistency in the leadership, the support, and then our players.
Is there a part of the game as it's becoming more contemporary and modern that you're enthusiastic about in what we're seeing today, whether it be name, image, and likeness, expansion of the playoff, those sorts of things?
Well, I think anything that touches the game that's a nuance is pretty neat.
Okay.
I think it creates a lot of change. For some people, they hear change and they get. I don't mind it, especially someone who's been at a school as long as I have. The ability to have some change and make it be a benefit for the game, make it be a benefit for the student athletes. I'm two hands up, all for it.
Well, it's interesting you say that because I've said, are they still playing 11 aside?
Yeah, right. Well, what's funny is that as I look at the game itself. You could say that there's been some nuances with maybe a little bit more explosiveness, a little bit more wide open. The rule changes have created that, right, in the passing game. And, our game is kind of getting a little bit more closer to the NFL model of throwing the ball more. But the game in and of itself is still about blocking and tackling, throwing and catching and covering. And then obviously some important kicks and snaps. Outside the game is where a lot of this is changing. And, I do think the one constant is the game. The game hasn't changed, and there still is a level of commitment and trust and toughness and hard work. All the values that go along with our game, those have not changed, and I think it stood the test of time.
Coach, I want to pivot to some, I think, much more fun questions.
Sure.
And I would appreciate having some fun with them. So the
Yes,
first
sir.
one is, what's the last job you had that had nothing to do with coaching football?
I did radio sales before I became a graduate assistant coach. So
Wow.
I was a salesman for a radio station in Chicago.
Did you like that job?
I got into coaching as fast as I could.
Okay. That's
I was
fair.
in a startup radio station and we had no numbers. So we were just building relationships and then I segued out. So I had a blast with great people. It was a lot of fun. It was kind of a little stopgap job between getting cut by the Cowboys and getting into coaching. So great people. I had a lot of fun, but I've been ecstatic to be in coaching ever since.
Man, selling book without a book. That's
Not fun.
No, not at all. Which fictional football player do you most want to join your team?
Wow. When you say fictional football player.
Movie.
Oh, wow. Well, it wouldn't be Rudy. I've met him. It would probably be Bobby Boucher.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I'd take the water boy.
Is it because he's tackling? Is it because he's charismatic?
Yeah, I think it's because that attitude that he had took out and permeated through the whole program in the university. So I think I'll go with Bobby Boucher.
Hey, man, I like a man that loves his mama. So, Coach, I got the arrogance to put together an all-time Big Ten defense and
Okay.
offense.
Okay.
And as I said, I'm probably going to get in trouble. Might get yelled at there.
Okay.
But tell me who I left off. Who you put on?
Offensively, you can't put every Buckeye on there. But I would. There was this kid named Eddie George.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Contemporary yours.
I think I think there's this two-time Heisman Trophy winner from Ohio State.
Only one.
Arch,
Cam's the only guy that has brought him up.
That's because he's from Ohio.
Okay.
Plays running back.
Okay.
I think Archie. We had a great player in Chris Hinton.
Yes.
O lineman.
Very much so.
We'll probably leave it at that. That's enough. It's pretty darn good. Defensively, I agree with Charles. This is a pretty darn good list. This again, you need to get a few more Buckeyes on here, I guess. So.
Hey,
but if you're going to put Jim Leonard on there, I should be on there.
Oh. Okay.
Out of respect to Coach Leonard. No offense to him, but if he's going to be on there, come on, man.
So I think your kids pointed out Dick Butkus.
Yeah.
They want to know where he's at.
Well, there's no doubt about that, but there's no doubt. There's a couple of pretty good linebackers missing. That's all.
I love that you said that about Jim Leonard. It's great. Northwestern coach Pat Fitzgerald, thank you so much for your time, sir.
Honor to do it. Thanks. Go Cats.